Well, here I am back on Woodland Lake at Coking Farm. Just booked a sneaky couple of days off work. There's nobody else booked off, and I've got holiday to use up. The weather's mild, so I thought I'd come back to my ball breaker over the lake and see if we can get one of these big girls out. I don't think there's been a fish out for 3 weeks out of this lake, so got a few little tricks to try just to see if we can buy a run. I'm on peg 12, which is one of the favoured winter pegs. Really quite looking forward to it. As you can see, I've got 2 rods in already. I'm going to tie up a maggot rig for the 3rd rod. Right then, this is my simple maggot rig, construction of anyway. I started with a length of quarter IQ soft, about 12 inches long, 10-pound breaking strain, and to that I've tied on a barbless size 14 hook. I'm then going to thread a piece of a piece of fake fluoro pop-up corn onto the hook link. Onto the hook link like that. Then I'm going to take a tiny little piece about 1 mil long, a thin silicone tube, thread that down the hook link, and take a barbless size 10 Nash Fang X hook, thread through the back of the eye, and then pick up that piece of tube over the point of the hook, push it round onto the bend to set it so that the hair is exiting on the right part of the bend. Nice little, about a ½ inch separation on the hair, and simply tie that off with a 5-turn knotless knot, as always, through the back of the eye. Moisten the knot, pull it down tight. You can see that forms a nice aggressive angle from the eye. Won't even need any shrink shoe kicker or anything like that. And the next stage is to take a small 1/4 sinker and slide that down the hook link. This is going to be the base to anchor the pop-up, because this is going to float. So that will be, I'll mould some putty around that in a minute, and that will then sit up on the bottom. Something like that. Take some tungsten putty, don't need too much, mould it between your fingers. I like the Nash putty, seems to stick really well. Warm it up between your fingers and simply mould the putty around the sinker that you threaded onto the hook link. That will do 2 things. It will anchor the buoyancy of the pop-up so it doesn't float too far up off the bottom, but it also makes the eye of the hook heavy so that when the hook is in the fish's mouth, the eye will always stay in the right position. So hopefully it catches hold in the bottom lip. I should just finish this off with a simple loop so that I can attach it to my normal quick release link swivel. I tend to tie what we call a perfection loop, or a figure 8 loop. Wet it, put it all down tight. I like that loop because it stands up nice and central. Trim the tag end off, and that join will be covered with a piece of silicone once on the rig. I'm going to attach to the rig the main line, standard lead clip. I use one of these little link swivels. Just tie it on with a 3-turn tucked half blood knot. Moisten and bed the knot down. Pull it all tight as normal. Trim the tag. That one pushes the swivel down into the lead clip. I take the rig that we prepared earlier, slide it over the quick link and cover it all up. With a piece of silicone to keep it all nice and tight, and attached the lead to the lead clip. Make everything nice and moist, otherwise it won't come off. Don't ram the tail rubber on tight, because if that snags, what you require is for the lead just to come away. If you're dragging it through weed or anything like that, you should lose the lead. Some people try to ditch the lead every single take, but I always seem to worry a bit about the amount of lead that's liable to end up left in the lakes. Right, there's the rig. Now all we've got to do is set it up. I'm going to start off with some wiggly maggots. There we go. Pull the hook back out of the corn and simply hook, nick lightly through the end. A few of these maggots. It gives a scent, it gives the bait some movement, and hopefully might just encourage a curious carp to have a look at it. Something they don't see that much, I don't think. And then pull the little size 14 back down into the corn, and it makes like a little padlock. So those maggots are now sitting on the top of that fluoro. Pop up, wiggling away, and all that's left now is to attach a little PVA ordinary bag. Funnel web type PVA. Let's make up a little bag of maggot. Bring it down nice and tight. Two knots. Chop it off between the knots. And all we need to do then is nick it on. There we go, all ready to cast out. Just trim off these PVA ends, it's a little bit messy. That's better. There we go, all ready to cast out. Let's see if that nicks us a bite on this November day. Okay, I've just shown you the maggot rig. I've shown you this rig before. It's my standard solid bag rig. A little short coated braid hook link. A size 10 Fang X hook with a little shrink tube kicker, a little weight, quarter sinker with some putty around it, and a trim down pop up. Fished on a little tiny short 12-inch length of lead core. Fishing it a bit different than normal. I've actually taken the centre tube out of the lead and very semi-fixed, but then as soon as the fish has picked it up, that will detach and becomes running. In the bag today, there we go, we have some of the c.c.moore oily bag mix, crushed up live system boilies, and some live system liquid, and the slicker boosting liquid from c.c.moore again. That just goes in a solid bag. I prefer the little bags this time of year, and I simply put a bit of the mix in the bottom, drop the rig down in, ouch, it's gone right in my finger, drop the rig down, the lead the other side, fill the bag up, there we go, shake it down nice and tight, a bit of a twist, a bit of a lick and stick corners. That one's all ready to go on. Oh, he's not very tight, let's just tighten him up a bit. It's always worth checking in the margins as well that your PVA bags are actually dissolving. There we go, ready to cast in. Well, it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon now. The three lads who were fishing over the other side have all gone home back to Bristol. LV sat here scanning the water, looking to see for signs of carp. There's been lots jumping this afternoon. I've not had an indication though. One of the boys over the far side had a couple of funny little runs that didn't come to anything this afternoon. Quite confident now for the night. I'm here on my own. So hopeful that the fish will think everybody's gone home. I'm in a good peg on a cracking lake. There's really nowhere I'd rather be than out fishing. Let's hope that we get one, preferably before it gets dark, but I'll take them at any time. I don't mind waiting until tomorrow if that's what it takes. Bring on the fish. Morning. Well, the nights don't get much longer than that. I know it's the end of November, but it was dark by 4:30 last night. It's now just about 7 o'clock in the morning, and it's just light enough to film again. As you could see by the frost on the unhooking mat and the bivvy, it got a bit cold last night. I don't know what the temperature went down to, but it was obviously freezing. The fish haven't stopped crashing all night. I didn't even realise really how cold it was. The Nash Indulgent sleep system certainly keeps you warm. As you can hear, Elvie's awake and decided that something needs destroying. I've woken up this morning to a very, very cold, foggy morning. Let's redo these rods, get a cup of coffee on the go, and get on with this fishing session. Well, the sun's trying to come out now. It's still cold. The mist is beginning to lift. What an absolutely beautiful November morning. I can't think of anywhere I'd rather be. Can actually see as far as the island now, see the ducks. What a stunning place this is. Well, it's turned out to be a beautiful day. It's about 10:30 now. All the mist has burnt off. The sun's shining. Planes are flying everywhere from the airfield over the back. You can see my kit there. I'm on peg 12. I've just walked down to peg 13, so I can sort of show you a bit of the lake. As I keep saying, it's a lovely place. It's quite an established lake. It's been there quite a few years now. And looking down the lake, you can see there's two islands on my left hand side, and down this bank, pegs 9 to peg 13 that I'm on at the moment. Around my left, the car park's down there at peg 14, and a double peg at the end, 15 and 16, with peg 1 straight across down there. There's lots of small fish topping now. The big fish seem to have stopped crashing about. They were crashing all night. It is the end of November after all. The water's cold, and this lake is hard at the best of times, let alone when you're in the depths of winter. Even if it does seem to be quite a pleasant day now, it was cold in the night. Well, this is the other side of my bivvy. This one's peg 11, right on the corner of the island there. This is the bigger of the two islands. Looking across onto the point over there, which is peg 2 and 3, and back over into the corner again. We have peg 1. Just off the island. These are always sort of favoured pegs between the two islands, and this end of the lake is also the deeper water, which is why I've chosen it. This just turned out to be such a gorgeous day. Certainly better than working. Well, I've sort of been playing around a bit with a little Avon rod with a bunch of maggots on, just down the margins, and I've just had a bite. It's a pristine roach, about 6 ounces. It's taken about 10 maggots on a size 10 hook. No carp, but at least I'm not blanked. Well, I think they just finished clearing up the bait on the margin spot. Oh no, seen a bit more. It's not just carp, swans love live system too. Never mind, I'm off home in a bit. Carp didn't want it anyway. Enjoy swans. Well, coming to the end of the session now. Looks like it's going to rain. I think I'm going to get the bivvy and everything down while it's still dry. Not troubled the carp today. The swans seem to be enjoying the bait. Just chucked a load of stick mix and stuff in the side for them. Better than letting it go to waste. That'll be goodbye Woodland till the next time. Cheers. And I'm going to take a tiny 1mm piece of
I'm gone fishing.
and I'm going to take a little sort of 1mm piece of, it's twice I've dropped it.